Hey everyone, so it's been a while, I know. In fact, I didn't do anything over summer, which is disappointing because there was a whole lot of flowers that I really wanted to show people, and I kept thinking, I need to make a video so that you can see how gorgeous these gladies are, and then I never did it. So I was talking to Micah the other day, and she suggested that I do snippets in future so that instead of feeling like I have to sort of capture everything, that I could just do little bits and then put them together. So that's what I'll do in future. But for today, I just got to get everybody caught up about what I've been doing. So at the front here, I've put this, it's a work of art really, isn't it? Look at that. With zip ties and everything. This is essentially so that this guy won't jump the fence. Hey Zephyr. And I've been collecting this because I'm going to be putting in gardens along here, and then along here, this bit here. This is my new wood pile that I'm creating so that I can do some more shredding. And then along here, I'm going to put garden, more garden. Now, is because I spent most of the summer using a very small electric mower to mow all of this land. Now you can see behind me and further, there's a lot of grass here, and I was pretty much mowing every day. And in the end, the mower broke down, and we went and purchased a bigger, wider mower, still electric, but it actually does it so much faster because it's bigger and it's got more grunt to it. So it hasn't been as much of a problem. But my thought was that I could transform some of the grass area into just garden, whether it be for flowers, possibly vegetables, maybe herbs, something like that. And then I just don't have to mow as much. So I've been slowly kind of increasing and adding. This will take ages, but I've got so much like excess prunings and stuff like that. This was me taking down this rose bush, which I'm trying to do to about head height, so that it still gives cover, but it's just not this rambling thing that it is. So I'm just going to just keep adding. The quince managed to net, so we've got a few here. Well, one massive one. I don't actually know when they're ready. Does anyone know anything about quinces? And in there's a few, but I didn't get to it quickly enough. However, they have come up better than what they did last year, so I imagine that I obviously did an okay job, and I got some ventilation, and I just need to get on to netting it sooner. Next, now, I probably should have listened to the advice that I got about not using the wire that I used up the back there, which is kind of like a rectangular type of cattle wire type thing. I used that to make an archway for the pumpkin, but it didn't hold. And so the pumpkin was growing these huge, like they were epic pumpkins, and it was starting to collapse, and I was propping it up with sticks, and then I was like, oh no, it's going to break off. And so I lowered it, but unfortunately in the process of lowering it, a couple of them snapped off, so I've lost some pumpkins. However, I do have a few more. One thing that did work, so I've learnt a lot of lessons there, and it looked amazing, and I wish that's one of the things. I wish that I had taken like video then, because I could have shown like how cool it looked. The other thing I realized once I'd created that archway is that the positioning of it wasn't great because it was causing a lot of shade on the rest of my veggie patch, and I've got a better option, so I'll show you both those things. But nonetheless, this is the wedding arch that I put in, and whilst it actually hasn't produced much in the way of pumpkins, like I think just that one, and there's a little one in here, and I can't see any others, although sometimes they hide. However, this cucumber has just gone, like there's just so many cucumbers on it, it's just gone nuts. I've also had to battle this little, they're leaf eating, they're kind of like these, they're like large, I have to see if I can find one. There, these little buggers. They're like large ladybugs. They're a pain in the butt, and I'm going to crush them. Yeah, and so they've been munching, but I've still managed to get quite a lot of cucumber. So this is one of the projects. I've been getting all of the stones from over here, over in there, which I'll show you. And I've been shaking out all the dirt, and then I've been putting here. And then I've got these stepping stones, which I'd like to make some more stepping stones, so that I don't necessarily have to stand on the rocks in bare feet, because I often walk in bare feet. I've put up those 2 center garden beds like I said that I was going to do, because I reduced the wooden one. And so then I'm going to use a lot of the pots, just because, you know, money is a thing. And so I've got lots and lots of random pots, so I'm going to put them all in here and just like grow various things in there, probably flowers and maybe some herbs. That's where the archway for the pumpkin used to be. So down here is where my pumpkin used to be. And as you can see, I've got some great pumpkin coming in, and some beautiful sweet butternut pumpkin over there. But the problem was the archway then shaded this blueberry, and was shading a lot of the garden over there too. So I had corn growing in there, which was just amazing. It came out really good, but I think because it was so shaded, it didn't go as well as it could have. Nonetheless, so the shading didn't work very well. However, I have to backtrack. So I've got carrot and cauliflower and cabbage and broccoli, which is not doing great because I've had some moths. Radish. The strawberries were just nuts. Like, they were so good. You could, like, yeah, people could vouch for just how amazing these strawberries tasted. I was blown away. So this is where I've put the wood chips, which, you know, I'd been doing for a while. And I need more stepping stones as well, so that I can walk through here. But I'm thinking this is where the pumpkin archways will grow. So what I'll do is I'll put like a pumpkin maybe in this one, and the next one, and the next one, and then build an archway over the top, which I vaguely tried to do down here. As you can see with this wire here. Just let me get to it. See, this is the wire I tried with. But it didn't work very well. And this one also collapsed. However, pumpkins, and more pumpkins. So nonetheless, it was a good little adventure to attempt. I'm trying to not fall over the hose. And now I know like what I'm going to do with it. So yeah, it'll be good. Next, which are looking shabby as now. However, I would manage to make really, really good tomato sauce, homemade tomato sauce, and some passata from it, which is awesome. I probably would want to have even more tomatoes next year. However, that was all I had space for, because I didn't plan very well. Yeah, I didn't plan very well. I hadn't, admittedly, we didn't have the central gardens at that point, and but I got to the pumpkin and I was like, where am I going to put this pumpkin? Like, yeah. So going forward, being here, we're going to get another raised garden bed, and then I'm going to put things like corn and into just like straight into the ground further down, which you'll see we've still got so much more space to expand the veggie garden. Gabriel got Tobias an apple tree for Christmas, and it's just beginning to blossom, which is pretty exciting. We love apples. So this was like a bean cucumber forest in here. I also had potatoes come in that I let them just go, and because I didn't have anything else to put there at that particular time, and then I built it up, and I actually got quite a lot, which I might, if I choose to edit in photos, I will show you like what I've created. I got a huge bunch of beetroot from over there before I planted the other stuff in, and I've made like pickled beetroot, and of course I did my zucchini pickle. I ended up having to rip out the zucchini plants because it was just too much. Down the back there, this is where I've made the 3-bay composter with Samantha and Brian, which is awesome. So I'm filling up the left one, I'll fill up the right one, and then the idea is you turn the left one into the middle, and then you turn the right one into the middle, and then you start again on the left. But as you can see down the back here, like there's heaps of room for yet another garden bed, and I'll probably put like the corn that I'm just going to plant straight into the ground here. And then, I don't know, I've still got there and there, because I moved the chicken fence. I don't know if I'd done that by the last video, but it used to go down here to the bottle brush, which has come back beautifully. and then up to the vine here, the grapevine, and then across. And it was just big, and actually was a pain in the butt to mow, because I had to get the mower into the chicken area and then mow it, and they just didn't do a very good job of keeping the grass down for me. So I reduced it. Oh my gosh, he's with my cardboard. Off he goes. So so I reduced it, and it's much better. It's much easier to mow like more of the grass without having to combat the chickens. My grape, I've had this kind of thing going on for quite some time, which I think, I don't know anything about grapes. This is apparently meant to be a purple grape. I did actually, I don't know if we can see any. I think they're all gone now. There's one. I did actually get bunches of grapes, and they often, they got all moldy and gross. I think in part it's because when I pruned it back kind of in winter, so I think an infection got into the plant then, rather than I'm going to do, or I've done most of it now, and I'm going to do a bit more and let it sort of dry out a little bit before it gets to winter, and then hopefully it won't get yucky. Next, so this is besides sort of the eating area, which I'm not going to show you because I haven't done anything with it and it's gross. We've had so many things come up. Like we've got cosmos in there, some sunflowers. I had this beautiful hollyhock that's meant to be coming in here, right? And the flowers come in, but these little buggers, they're little, I think they're called harlequin bugs, and basically there they are. And I don't think it's come up, because I think this is where it's meant to. Here, yeah, there's meant to be something there, and it just hasn't come up very well. Mum's geraniums are doing well. No, not geraniums, chrysanthemums are doing well. Pumpkin, which I don't think has got any pumpkin on it. It was just a bit of an experiment. And then this stuff, which I'll propagate, it's like a anti-mosquito thing. Micah, you've got it at your place, and Samantha, you've got some at yours. But I'll propagate that, because the idea is to maybe put that like in a sort of ring around here. Although I wouldn't mind putting in a pond with a little, anyway, that's down the track. So the last thing I'll show you is, because I mean there's heaps, but you don't have to see everything. I did put in a fence up here all the way along to the carport, which is where I do my seed raising, and along here, because Zephyr has now decided that he likes to try and attack the next door neighbour dog in response to the next door neighbour dog attacking me, and that's why I've put this in. Not attacking me, but coming at the fence, So I've put this in. All really basic stuff. I've just used bits of thick wood that I've chopped down. So, really good high value construction going on here. Look at that. That's holding it together. Anywho, this is where I've been slowly getting the stones, of which I take over to the other side. And then I'm going to slowly put in wood chips, because the pruning will be never ending. So it doesn't, I can just keep adding wood chips here. So that's pretty much it, I think. I've done more, but yeah, I mean, it's getting long now, isn't it? So what I will do in future, I will do what sort of Michaelina suggested, and maybe take little snapshots of when I'm doing something, especially when I get the really nice things coming in, which won't be till spring now, but then I'll put them all together. So anyway, if anyone knows anything about quinces, or in fact, if anyone knows really good tips about fruit trees, grapes, anything like that, I don't have a lot of experience. So, shoot me a message. See ya!